Hi, this is I'll Explain. This time I will explain the gun Volva. Gun Volva, model number EDM-GB, is not actually a mobile suit, but a gun bit. Well, it is not fair to say gun Volva isn't a mobile suit at all, but it does have its cockpit replaced with a large shell unit functioning as a gun format transceiver. But before we get ahead of ourselves, why make a gun bit out of a mobile suit? Like we have looked at aerial before, the gun bit system allows gun arms to fight like a whole squad of mobile suit. So the next logical step is to have an entire mobile suit squad commanded by a single pilot or a single weapon control officer, but we have not seen this arrangement yet, so formally at least. The benefit of doing this is obvious, as you only have a single pilot for a whole squad of mobile suit. That means you only need to train a single pilot to improve the effectiveness of the entire squad. Now the following question is, wouldn't that make the entire squad more easily incapacitated? The answer is a resounding no, since the entire squad can defend the pilot if the opposition can coordinate better than the gun bits in the first place. The second benefit is on the production and maintenance side. Sure, having gun bits as swarm turrets or bit staves are compact and require less materials, but compact parts are harder and more expensive to produce, and the docking stations on gun arms would introduce extra complexity and materials used. On the other hand, with gun bits based on mobile suits, you can have the same production line as your gun arms or even regular mobile suits, with the cost of pilots and cockpit replaced by a shell unit. Not to mention, mobile suit style gun bits can be serviced just like regular mobile suits, while bit safes use special parts and require training in their engineering to service. These two attributes in combination allows both gun arm and its gun bits to have better combat readiness and operation endurance. Bit staves still have their own advantage, but for military operation, gun Volva is the preferable format. Some may question if gun Volva would be harder to control. However, since mobile suit already has basic action built into their control computers, and gun bits are loaded with combat formations and maneuver in their control computers, so after the two has paired up, gun Volva can perform some rather complex combat maneuvers with the gun arm's pilot looking sternly in a particular target, even without the pilot spending time pairing with the gun arm or gun Volva. The gun Volva is built from Gundam Lift pre-production model. While August Earth was raided after the Venedus incident, the Earth government had their gun arm stockpile hidden in many secret locations on Earth. Part of the Earth government is biding their time to wage war on Beneric Group, whom they view as symbol and enforcer of Spatian oppression. When gun arms research was banned after the Venedus incident, Earth government knew they could not train as many gun arm pilots as they would have liked, and proceeds to convert Gundam Lift pre-production models into gun Volvas in order to boost their rank with them. Let's take a closer look and see what changes they made when they converted Gundam Lift pre-production model into gun Volva. Starting with the head, gun Volva has same layout as Lift pre-production model. Top optics, forehead shell unit, two eye optics, and a simple face mask. The antennas are present, but the beam volcans are removed. Also note that the armor has changed to a more angular shape compared to a more rounded one of Lift pre-production model. No documentations had offered explanation for these changes while this video is filmed, but there are some speculation that I will cover in the future. For now, I would say the angular armor is done for ease of production and maintenance, and flat armor plates can be disguised as other materials, avoiding mobile suit council detection with regards of Earth building up military strength. Next, we move to the torso, with the shell unit replacing the cockpit and part of the chest fans. This shell unit on top of the chest is replaced with simple armor plates. The chest vents are combined with the front counter thruster as two smaller vents at the lower part of the chest. All of this is clearly done to further reduce the complexity of the gun Volva, partly due to Earth armed forces can only operate in covert manners, partly to improve gun Volva's combat readiness, the very concept of mobile suit gun bits in the first place. Gun Volva's skirt is probably where most changes are made visually. Once again, we can see the armor being more angular in simpler shapes, and instead of multiple small plates protecting the hip joints, it is built into two large plates surrounding the hip joints, and has apogee motors and thrusters built into it. The apogee motors are larger counterparts of those used on Liffrith pre-production model skirts. No indication whether they are more powerful or not, but definitely less compact and easier to service. The thrusters are actually moved from the back of the file on Liffrith pre-production model. It is once again done for simplification and makes gun Volva parts less obvious as gun arms parts, a rather important aspect for Earth armed forces to keep their presence hidden. Gun Volva's legs are once again replaced with simpler angular armor plates. Furthermore, the movable knee thrusters are now moved down to below the knee as a fixed thruster, and the knee just has simple armor plates. The feet are also simpler, with ankle armor enlarged. Gun Volva's arm seems to be very different from Liffrith pre-production model, until you take a closer look and see they are just more angular and simpler version like the rest of it. The shoulder is a simple block of armor, no apogee motors, no repulsion generator, just pure coverage. The upper arm have a simple rectangular cross-section instead of a trapezoid. The forearms are symmetrical, so they can be used on the left or right arm so long the hands are correct. The armor on the forearms are simpler angular shapes, of course. They also look larger, but that's probably done for the left-right compatibility. Gun Volva's backpack is very different from Liffrith pre-production model because it is modeled after Liffrith's backpack. But unlike Liffrith, Gun Volva has no bit stave to dock on it, so Gun Volva's backpacks just has simple thrusters, with the side racks remain movable, so the thrusters can change directions, giving Gun Volva high mobility without needing a bunch of binders. Gun Volva is armed with very generous weapons, a beam carbine, a pair of beam sabers, and a shield. The beam carbine is a compact beam machine gun that is good for short to medium range, using rate of fire to make up for the fact that Gun Volva is not directly controlled by a pilot, most of the time at least. It is designed to be able to latch on the side of the Gun Volva's legs for transportation or freeing one of the hands. Two beam sabers and extra magazines for the beam carbine are holstered on the back of the shield. The shield is standard military grade that is designed to resist both energy and physical attacks. While it is not expected Gun Volva to perform complex combat moves with their beam sabers, having a small team of Gun Volva attacking with their beam sabers in formation is still very effective. The most prolific use of Gun Volva was by Dawn of Foe, a terrorist group or rebel against the oppression of Beneric Group, supported by part of the Earth's government. They were smuggled into Astacasia before launching a surprise attack under the disguise of performing a duel, and a second attack on Astacasia during the Beneric Group's succession crisis. Both attacks have proved that Gun Volva controlled by expert gun arms pilots are more effective than regular soldiers or securities with their regular mobile suits, and even edges out against anti-gun arms mobile suit pilots by less experienced pilots. However, facing expert pilots with experience fighting gun arms or with their own gun arms, Gun Volva is just another mobile suit. there wouldn't be a art explore for the gun Volva just yet, but be assured that you will see the gun Volva in a future video. Thanks for watching.